Chapter 1, The Arrival, Mark's story. As I stepped through the heavy iron gates of Greystone Penitentiary, a chill ran down my spine. The world I once knew faded into a distant memory, replaced by the harsh reality of confinement. I was Mark, a failed artist, engulfed in the shadows of my addiction. My first night was a cacophony of eerie echoes and whispered fears, the weight of uncertainty suffocating. Days stretched endlessly, yet amidst the bleakness, I stumbled upon an underground art community, my lifeline. In secret corners of the yard, I met fellow inmates who shared my passion for creativity. Together, we painted the walls of our souls, breathing life into our muted existence. Each stroke of the brush became a testament to resilience, transforming despair into hope. In this iron prison, I found not only my voice, but a flicker of purpose, a reminder that even in darkness, art could illuminate the path to healing. Chapter 2, The Warrior's Code, Stasia's Story. As Stasia steps into Greystone Penitentiary, the clang of the heavy steel door echoes like the final note of a judgment she can't escape. A former soldier decorated for bravery, she now grapples with the shame of being incarcerated for a bar fight wherein she defended her sister, a split-second decision that changed everything. Each day is a reminder of her guilt and the warrior code she once held sacred, where honor and loyalty dictated her actions. In the depths of despair, she finds solace among her fellow inmates, forging bonds that echo the camaraderie of her past. They share survival tips, laugh at shared adversities, and create a sisterhood that transcends the prison walls. Within these relationships, Stasia learns that strength isn't just about physical prowess, it's about vulnerability, support, and standing together against the trials of confinement. Her journey reveals that redemption can arise in the most unexpected places. Chapter 3, The Timekeeper, Omar's Story. As I sit on my cot, surrounded by the hum of prison life, I reflect on my years here as the unofficial historian of Greystone. I've seen men come and go, each with a story etched into their very beings. I document their tales not only to remember, but to remind myself that we are more than our pasts. With every anecdote I collect, I find humor in the absurdity of our situations and the unwritten rules we navigate. Gang politics swirl around us, but there's a community formed in this chaos, a brotherhood of shared experiences and unspoken resilience. Each day, as I share laughter and wisdom with my fellow inmates, I feel a little lighter, a little freer. In these walls, where despair often looms large, I strive to keep the spirit of our stories alive, ensuring that even amidst confinement, the essence of our humanity endures. Chapter 4, A Chance Encounter. Mia's Story. Mia's world shrank drastically the day she was arrested during a drug raid that exposed her to Greystone's cold, unforgiving walls. Innocent yet trapped, she often felt suffocated by the weight of her circumstances. Isolation wrapped around her like a heavy cloak until a chance encounter changed everything. While sketching in a corner of the yard, she met Mark, an artist whose passion for creativity ignited something deep within her. Shared moments of vulnerability unfolded as they exchanged stories and laughter, allowing Mia to glimpse a flicker of hope amid despair. In this unexpected friendship, they found solace in each other's company, transforming their pain into art and resilience. Together, they challenged the harsh realities of incarceration, crafting a bond that defied the bleakness of their surroundings. Despite the iron bars, Mia discovered the strength of empathy, paving a pathway toward healing and renewed purpose. Chapter 5, The Last Goodbye, Eric's Story. As I sit on the cold metal bed in my cell, memories of my past flood my mind. My mother's laughter echoes in my heart, a sound I once took for granted. In here, the walls confine me, but the thought of her keeps me tethered to hope. The day I received the news of her illness changed everything. I felt helpless, unable to reach out or show her how much I loved her. Time feels like a thief, stealing moments we can never get back, her warmth, her care. I reflect on my choices, my youth filled with petty thefts leading me here, away from family. The stark reality of my mother's suffering haunts me, yet it fuels my desire for redemption. In this bleak existence, I find resolve. If I'm ever given a chance, I will make it right. This prison has bound my body, but it cannot shatter the bond of love that connects us. Chapter 6, The Dreamer, Lila's Story. Lila, just 23, finds herself behind bars, a stark contrast to the vibrant future she once envisioned. A budding writer with dreams of captivating audiences, she now spends her days navigating the confines of Greystone Penitentiary, her spirit clinging to hope. Each evening, as the world outside fades away, she pours her thoughts into a worn notebook, turning her struggles into stories that resonate with her fellow inmates. In the flickering glow of a dim bulb, Lila shares her words during informal gatherings, evoking laughter and tears. Through her tales, she cultivates connections and inspires others, transforming pain into creativity. Writing becomes her refuge, a means of survival amidst the bleakness. As Lila embraces her identity as a storyteller, she learns that her dreams may be delayed, but they are far from extinguished. In her heart, the dreamer remains unbroken, determined to share her voice with the world once more. Chapter 7. The Grief Keeper, Leo's Story. Leo sits in the corner of the yard, tracing the lines of a photograph worn from longing, a snapshot of a family lost too soon. Convicted for a crime committed in the throes of grief, he grapples daily with the anguish of his past. Each dawn breaks with the weight of memories, laughter shared, birthdays missed, and unspoken goodbyes linger in his heart. In prison, he bonds with fellow inmates over shared losses, creating a makeshift support group where they can lean on each other's stories. As he speaks about the joy of his late sister's smile, the others draw strength from his vulnerability, igniting their own healing journeys. Through art and writing, Leo channels his sorrow into reflection, transforming pain into a narrative of hope. In each line he pens, he finds a path toward closure, teaching those around him that grief, while heavy, can also become a catalyst for resilience and self-discovery. Chapter 8. The Forgotten Innocent, Jessica's Story. In a world where justice often feels blind, Jessica stands as a haunting testament to wrongful conviction. Her tale begins with a fateful night that spiraled into a nightmare, leading to her arrest for a crime she did not commit. As she reflects on the days slipping by within Greystone's cold walls, Jessica grapples with the profound toll of her imprisonment on her mental health and sense of identity. Each moment feels like a reminder of the life she lost, yet her spirit remains unyielded. Driven by a fierce desire for justice, Jessica becomes an advocate for prison reform, sharing her perspective and rallying fellow inmates to the cause. Her experiences illuminate the stark reality of those caught in the system's web, turning her sorrow into a source of strength. In a narrative woven with resilience, hope emerges amid despair, proving that even the most forgotten can ignite a call for change. Chapter 9. The Mentor, Carlos's Story. Carlos sits on the worn bench in the prison yard, a quiet authority emanating from his weathered face. At 62, he's seen the inside of a cell more times than he cares to count. Yet, amidst the chaos of Greystone, he finds purpose in mentoring younger inmates. Carlos shares stories from his own tumultuous life, emphasizing the importance of choices and personal responsibility. Every moment is a crossroads, he tells them, and how you navigate it defines your journey. With each discussion, he fosters a sense of hope, encouraging others to reflect on their pasts and envision brighter futures. He facilitates informal meetings where they can express their struggles and aspirations, transforming the bleak environment into a supportive community. Through his wisdom, Carlos reveals that redemption is not merely a distant goal, but a daily practice, igniting the desire for change and resilience in the hearts of those around him. Chapter 10. Hidden Talents, Nina's Story. Nina stepped into Greystone with a heavy heart, burdened by the weight of her past mistakes. Yet within the prison's cold, gray walls, she discovered an unexpected passion: cooking. Over time, the kitchen transformed from a mere necessity into a sanctuary where she could express herself. Nina found joy in experimenting with flavors, creating meals that brought comfort to her fellow inmates. As she honed her culinary skills, she began mentoring other women, teaching them to find freedom through food. Together, they shared recipes and laughter, turning mealtime into moments of camaraderie and hope. Cooking became a form of rebellion against despair, a way to reclaim agency in an environment designed to strip it away. In the kitchen, Nina didn't just nourish bodies, she fostered connections, igniting the spark of creativity and resilience within her community. Through her hidden talent, she showcased that even in confinement, one could find purpose and joy. Chapter 11. The Joker, Benny's Story. In the unforgiving environment of Greystone Penitentiary, humor becomes Benny's lifeline. Known as the Joker among inmates, he uses laughter to deflect the weight of despair that looms like a heavy fog. Benny recounts his days of trying to find comedy in the mundane, cracking jokes at mealtimes, staging impromptu stand-up routines during yard walks, and sharing memes that circulate through whispered conversations. He vividly recalls one incident where a well-timed quip diffused tension during a heated argument, reminding others of their shared humanity. Yet beneath the laughter, Benny battles personal demons, using humor to mask the pain of his past. Through his story, listeners discover the delicate balance between lightheartedness and the stark reality of prison life. Ultimately, Benny reveals that while laughter does not erase suffering, it fosters connections, empowering inmates to navigate their shared experiences with a glimmer of hope. Chapter 12, The Walls That Bind, Naomi's Story. As the years slip by inside Greystone, I often find myself wrestling with the ghosts of my past and the confines of my present. My name is Naomi, and I have spent far too long behind bars. The isolation gnaws at me, feeding into the dark corners of my mind where anxiety and depression lurk. Each day I battle the relentless whispers of hopelessness, but I refuse to surrender to despair. Through the prison's mental health program, I've begun to confront my struggles, seeking therapy and support from fellow inmates who share their own battles. The journey to reclaim my mental well-being is fraught with challenges, yet I find solace in our shared experiences. Our stories bind us, reminding me of the strength within vulnerability. In this harsh environment, I strive to raise awareness about mental health, believing that healing can ignite from understanding, even within these walls that bind us. Chapter 13, The Long Road, Vicky's Story. As a lifer in Greystone, Vicky has come to terms with the reality of her long sentence. The walls that confine her are a constant reminder of choices made in moments of desperation. In this chapter, she reflects on her past, a turbulent life filled with struggles, heartaches, and the events that led to her conviction. Despite the oppressive weight of her sentence, Vicky finds solace in advocacy, becoming a voice for other inmates facing similar fates. She organizes discussions on the impact of crime on families, urging those on the outside to consider the repercussions of their actions. Her story illustrates a fierce determination to instill hope in younger generations, believing firmly in the importance of prevention. Vicky's journey is not just about confinement, but also about finding purpose within the walls that bind her, showcasing resilience and the desire for transformative change.